Are you looking to get into Constructed on MTG Arena but don't have a deck or haven't played in a while? Well, you're in luck. Arena is now selling pre-constructed decks for Standard, and today I'm Jim Davis, pro Magic player and full-time content creator. I'm going to show you their Dinosaur pre-con deck, how to play it, and how to upgrade it if you want to get a little fancier. Building a deck on MTG Arena can be daunting. You gotta get obviously all the cards for it, you gotta use the right wild cards, you gotta be sure that the cards you're crafting are cards you actually want, because once you're in, you're in. But Arena now selling pre-con decks is an awesome way to buy a complete deck and jump right in for a very reasonable cost. Now, the Dinosaur deck you see here sells for 5,310 gems. Those 10 gems are really, really important. However, it's important to note that this purchase cost will be discounted by all the cards in the deck you already own, so you're not double buying, which is really cool as well. So that's about like 25 bucks, which is a really, really great price to play for a deck that's playable in Standard and not that hard to upgrade. Looking at the deck list here, we see a pretty reasonable deck, honestly, as far as a stompy deck goes. Red-green Dinosaurs, cards like Pugnacious Hammerskull and Rampaging Raptor are pretty good rares for the deck, honestly, as well as Polani's Hatcher. These are all really good kind of top-end cards that can be aggressive. They're huge, and they have haste, which is great for dealing with sweepers and stuff like that. There are some cards in here that are a little less exciting, obviously. A card like Burning Sun's Cavalry is kind of a common you wouldn't really want to play a draft very often. Obviously, cards like Shock and Volcanic Spite are fine, but not the most exciting either. So there's a core here for sure to work with. Out of the box, this deck is definitely playable. Will you crush the Standard ladder with it? Probably not, but you'll definitely have some game for sure. This deck has a solid puncher's chance, and then it's pretty easy to upgrade as well, which we'll go over. So let's play a few games with the deck, and then I'm going to show you how to upgrade the deck with a few more rare wild cards and what are the important spots you can kind of power up. All right, we lost the die roll, which is fine. We have a decent hand here. We have our Yearling into Hammerskull draw. Opponent plays a Underground River. Blue-black Painland. These Painlands are very important. Nice swamp, too. Man, hanging out in the play queue with a Mirage Swamp. All right, well, we're going to try and play our Yearling here. If they're just playing a bunch of kill spells, it's probably pretty bad for us, but will the Yearling resolve? We're going to find out. It does. Will it live? Question 2. Prologue to Psoriasis. This is a card that gives me a poison counter and draws them a card. They're probably playing a control deck with a bunch of things that proliferate to add more poison counters. We're going it. And take the Hammerskull. And they're going to bring the ending, counter the Hammerskull. Sure. So in for 3. And say go. Unfortunately, we've drawn a lot of chomps this game, and they have no creatures in their entire deck. Is what it is. They play Case the Ransacked Lab. Their instant source spells cost less to cast, and sure, it's fun. All right, well, what else can we do, right? We're just going to come in and beat. So fire up the Iscraft. Now, be careful. Don't change the power here to 2. If it's lesser power, if you hit yes, it will get smaller, so don't do that. So attack. And fire in with our Exali's Lorekeeper. And just say go. Again, these Chomps and Frenzy are almost dead this matchup, so you basically have mulligan to 4 this game. But listen, that's it's part of the game, you know? They play a backwater too. And we draw a Rampaging Raptor. Can't cast that one yet either. Okay, I'm sorry, we can cast that one with the Lorekeeper. Oh my god. Alright, so let's jam it. We play the Case the Ransack Lab here. They're trying to set up, and our goal is to say, no, you can't set up. They have Bring the Ending again. One counterspell. They have a Serum Snare, so bounce the Yearling to the hand. But we're still coming in. The hasty dinos, and they are hungry. Third 4. Oh, here's the cover up. All right, so kills all the creatures. They're going to collect evidence and steal all my Hammerskulls. It's fine. I'm sorry, no, steal away the haste creature. That's even better. Smart play. So all my Raptors are gone now. And again, these things are looking really bad here. That's fine, though. We got a Yearling, and the Hatcher's the big one. If we can get the Hatcher online. Those are gone. Another Hatcher. All right, what do you do? You know, it's fine. Bring the ending? Sure. So they're out. They got no cards left. All they have is this Restless Reef, and that's a good card to draw. Kind of good. So unfortunately, these Chomps don't go face. That kind of sucks, but Bristling Bat. Oh, okay. The budget lands are coming in clutch. Take 1. And say go. All right. Here we go. They're at 1. They have a Mirrex. Mirrex is pretty good here. They're starting to stabilize, but the question is, can we kill them before they stabilize? Any lands for Hatchers, great. Case the Ranscap lag number 3. They're casing up. Hard case condition. Oh! Dink! So it was an untapped land. We would have cast the Hatcher and killed them anyway. I guess now they have the blocker, right? But it was still really good for us, so we'll take the win. Okay. So we got our Copperline Gorge, which is great. We also have a tap land, too. This hand's reasonable enough. We got a decent curve. Moves well in the midterm. We lost a die roll, unfortunately. We have an Evolved Sleeper. We draw our Burning Sun's Cavalry. Not our best card, for sure, but play a tap on 1. Black decks are good against creature decks, just like one of the, the paradigms of Magic, is that, like, black kill spells against creatures. They play a Plains here. Okay. Evolved Sleeper is a creature that can adapt and go bigger by putting mana into it. And Elias Ilkor Sadistic Pilgrims will help them gain life and lose life. We draw a Ridgeline, their tap land. So we have the Cavalry and we have the Yearling. Yearling gets bigger when you play new Dinosaurs, but we can't play a Dinosaur next turn, so you have this Burning Sun's Cavalry. I might just play the Cavalry first, and then it'll be a 3/3 attacker next turn. Next turn we can go Yearling, untap land, chomp. And then unfortunately, these extra tap lands are a little rough here. There are definitely too many tap lands in this deck. It's important to have dual lands in your deck, but you can't have all your lands come tapped. It just slows you down way too much. Here's another white. Opponent seems to be playing a Phyrexian deck of some kind. And there's a Sanguine Evangelist. That is a vampire, not a Phyrexian, but still kind of on theme. So gain some life off the Elias. I'm just going to stay home. Very defensive play. All right, well, we are not staying home. We are going to play our Yearling. And then I think we're just going to jam. So this is be a 3/3. Maybe we just chomp the Elias. This is their easy block, so I'll just chomp this thing. Get it out of here. And fire in for our attack with our 3/3. And then, fortunately, I gave her tap land for next turn. We draw an untapped land. We can go Raptor. That'd be great. But we got some boomers here. Got some heavy hitters. They're going to go for the threat of the Yearling. That's very, very good for us because they just use a premium kill spell on a non-premium creature. They cleared the way, but now I can play some boom booms, hopefully. Alright, and then they're thinking about their next play. It was a decent attack. They're going to play a Progenitor X-Arc as a 1/2 creature. We draw another tap land. You're killing me, Smalls. Alright, yeah. So we get a Lorekeeper tap land. Alright. Telling you, tap lands are, you can play a few of them, but this deck has, I think, 10. There's 4 backwoods, 4 highlands, and 2 ridgelines. Lands are very often the limiting factor for players building decks with new collections, but they're so important. One of the first things you want to craft in your arena decks is the rare lands of the colors you like to play, because you'll play them in every red-green deck. You're only going to play your Raptor and your Dinosaur decks, but the Copperline Gorge will go in every red-green deck you build until they rotate. So, real important to craft those lands. They play a Peacekeeper. This will make one of the cards in my hand more expensive. So they made my Hatcher cost 7, which is a lot, unfortunately. And the Bats coming in, they're playing very, very defensively. And then we draw a Bristling Backwoods, sure. So we're going to fire up our Rampaging Raptor. And I think we're just going to attack. The Raptor's definitely getting in. If I attack with the Raptor and the Cavalry, I guess their attack back is for a lot. This Hatcher costs so much. Alright, let's attack with just the Raptor. We'll leave this back as a 3/3 blocker. Cool. Play Backwoods, deal 1. Just chip it away. Gotta be aggressive, gotta keep going here. And we see an Invasion of Gobakon. This Polani's Hatcher is going to cost about 14,000 mana, unfortunately. So now it adds 2 more to the cost. Now it costs 9. So that's a bit. And they're going to attack the battle. Alright, so the Peacekeeper and the Bat. And this Sleeper. So this is a pretty good attack. They win this battle, it's pretty tough for us, honestly. Because they'll start putting counters on all the creatures. We're just going to make some blocks here. We're going to chump block the Peacekeeper and kill the Sleeper. This will be a 3/3 on the defense. This takes 1. I think our opponent should be being more aggressive with their Evangelists here. You want the Evangelists to die, but playing in the play queue, So, pumps this thing up. Dies. The battle takes 1. They lose the thing. We lose the thing. We draw a Volcanic Spite. That's not a bad pickup. We could spite down this Peacekeeper. And then get him for a pretty solid attack. Question is, when do we want to do this? We want to do this first, or try and get them to goad them into a double block? This is a 3/3 attacker. Yeah, we should attack. We have this ridgeline too, so we've got some damage on the table. This is definitely an aggressive, kind of like a stompy, big guy, get you dead kind of deck. So those should take all of it. Wow. So we're gonna spite right now, because I want to see if I have a spell to cast, or I'm going to be pumping this. So let's do this. We draw a shock. Shock's kind of interesting, because you can kill the Evangelists before they attack. I think we just want to get in, though. Because if they attack this battle, we get to attack them back for a lot. So I just pump this up, get in for a huge chunk of damage. Now they're at 5. And now I've got a Trampler, another good attacker. If I draw a land, I can go Ridgeline, activate, attack, and shock. That'd be great. There's a Shadow Rite Priest. This pumps all the clerics in play. So their Exarch and Evangelists get a little boost. I think we're in good shape, though. I think we're stomping through. This Hatcher's so much mana. It's only 7 now. It's not 9 anymore, but... So they're going to attack the battle. Nope, attacking me. This will do... This is a very aggressive attack. So they're going to Battle Cry. They'll deal a solid chunk to me, but they're at 5. They get to Invasion of Gobakon, but that only pumps the things that attacked. They have this 2/2 on defense, and I have a shock. I didn't draw an untapped land for our Ridgeline, unfortunately. It also does not have trample either. We can just pump the Raptor, though. I think we're just going in, right? Just going to attack with both of these, and I think they're dead to the Raptor. If they have a Go for the Throat, tip your cap and move on to the next game, Can't be mad about it. Then we did a good job this game being very aggressive and putting ourselves in a spot to win. So we're going to find out. Is that last card go? I mean, this is lethal. I guess it has to be Go for the Throat then, right? So we're probably dead here, but we'll see. All right, we're going to go. Actually, you know what? Let's actually not pump. See if a shock to kill them with. So let's just say go. Or pass, I mean. We're going to Light Shield Array to give their things Hexproof Indestructible. Sure. I guess we just should pump. Alright, it's a Go for the Throat. Yeah, alright. Yeah, just tip your cap sometimes, They had, their last card was a good one. And unfortunately, we were just a little bit short of killing them. Shock the face and pack it up. GG's. Alright, so we played a few games with the original version of a deck, and there were some issues, of course. Obviously, it's a budget deck. It's a constructed deck, a pre-con deck. Those common lands being the most damning, And while we've changed some of the cards in the main deck here, the most important thing when you're crafting a deck really is the lands. And I know it's not a very exciting thing to say. You want to craft your cool dragons and dinosaurs and cool mythic rares and stuff. But if you can't cast your spells, you're going to have a bad time. And you got to cast them on time, too. So the pain lands, the fast lands, these are some of the most important lands in Standard right now. And if you enjoy playing a certain color or color combination, you want to craft those first, start there, and then build your spells around them. So 4 Copperline Gorge and 4 Carpulsion Forest are non-negotiable. The only tap lands you've left in the deck are 2 Ridgelines, which are very good. Can't play too many of them, but is a very, very solid card as a way to kind of have mana fixer. It's also extra stuff. We also have 3 Cavern of Souls here, which is a powerful mana fixture for any deck based on creature types that also makes things uncounterable. So they're good against control decks and really good when you're playing a lot of big spells like Dinosaurs is. So what stayed and what left here, right? A lot of the cards stayed. The Chomp's still in, good removal spell. Lorekeeper's still in as a mana dork. Early beatdowns here in Belligerent Yearling and the Firstborn are also there as well. Hammerskull is great. The Raptors are great. And the Hatchers are great. So what's new? The cards that left were kind of like the commons that were underperforming, right? You don't want to play too many removal spells in a deck like this because you want to have just a lot of pressure. So we cut the shocks. The Wishstalker Frenzies and the Volcanic Spites. Just not very exciting as far as removal goes. Those got replaced with 4 copies of Trumpeting Carnosaur. This is a awesome top-end dinosaur. When it ETBs, you discover 5, which means you just keep playing cards off the top of your deck. You play a card for free. It costs 5 or less. You could also channel it. You spend 3 mana and discard it to deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. So it's a removal spell and a dinosaur, which is very, very important as far as threat density goes. And then if you cascade or discover into a Hatcher, that'll also give your Carnosaur haste as well, which is a really cool 1-2 punch. So a little bit of a combo. Doesn't need to happen, but is quite powerful if it does. So Carnosaur is a great one. Couple Hulking Raptors here as a way to get a little more mana. This mana can help you cast your Carnosaurs as well as activate your Restless Ridgelines. And then also activate your Paleontologist. This is the only non-dinosaur in the deck. 2 mana for a 2/2. This can help add mana, so it joins the Lorekeeper as another way to make mana for your dinosaurs. But it can also exile cards from the graveyard. This can be good against graveyard decks. But if you exile your own dinosaurs, you can cast them too, giving you a little oomph in the late game. So if things are kind of flooding out, they're killing all your creatures, you can use this and get your dinosaurs back as well. So Stompy, same idea, but a little more power here, and a little more straightforwardness as well. Also, if you want to try playing best of 3, which is the format that I play on the Pro Tour and in the World Championships and on the ladder as well, you have to build a sideboard. 15 card sideboard. And for games 2 and 3, you're allowed to swap cards in and out of your sideboard. So you have cards like, say, Tranquil Throwback, which is a really cool dinosaur that can kill enchantments or artifacts or graveyards. Can be played in the main deck, honestly. It's a pretty good card in this metagame. But a card you can board against enchantments and artifacts, stuff like that. A card like Paw Patch Formation, which can kill flyers and enchantments. And these can come in matchups where you need to kill a certain enchantment or a certain big flying creature. A Braid, same idea. Kills creatures or artifacts. Cool. We have a card like Tectonic Hazard, which is great against your opponent's small creature deck. So they make a bunch of 1/1s, you kill them all. Awesome. Urbrass Forge is great against those pesky Wrath of God decks with playing Sunfall and things that kill your creatures. Bailout's good against discard decks and mono red decks as it gains some life. And then a big one here is Season of Gathering. This can destroy all artifacts and or enchantments, which is great. Also draw you cards and put things. Great one to have against those really, really fancy decks that are playing a bunch of different types. So that's the upgrade of a deck. If you're going to be upgrading slowly, I would say start with the lands, then the Carnosaurs, and then go from there. There are other mana dorks you can play that are uncommon, easier to get than Paleontologist. I think this is like probably the last card you need to add, but the Carnosaurs are pretty huge and the lands are pretty huge. All right, so let's take our updated deck onto the ladder and give it a spin, see how it goes. All right, so we are now playing the upgraded version of a deck on the ladder. So we are in Platinum right now, which that's where we're at. And let's play first. We see not a great hand, but it's fine. Paleontologist Yearling is all reasonable enough for removal spell. And we'll see if we can't make this work. Play Copperline Gorge and say go. Island go. All right, well. Now we have a choice here. We can play the Paleontologist or play the Yearling. We're going to play Paleontologist first, get the mana dork out there, so we can go double Yearling next turn. A little extra mana oomph. What's our island opponent up to here? Island Mountain. Is that a dead Paleontologist? No, it's not. We draw another Paleontologist. Pretty interesting. All right, so let's play land, cast the Yearling, see what happens. Then we decide if we're going to cast Paleontologist or the other Yearling. I think I want to lay the beats here. Paleontologist doesn't even guarantee Carnosaur next turn. If they're playing counterspells, I also don't want to jam Carnosaur either. So play all these and say go. And see what's going on. They got a counterspell. They got to have something here. They have a Phantom Interference counterspell. Sure. So good. We'd much rather them counter that than our 6-drop, obviously. So that's fine. We can actually Paleontologist and exile it, and then even play it next turn too, which is really cool. So this card being a mana dork as well as a mana sink in the late game is pretty awesome. They play another island. And they think for a minute and do nothing. So I'm somewhat tempted just to exile this Yearling and try and cast it again. We're going to start there. So let's tap this for mana. So you spend 2 mana and exile the Yearling. They're clearly a slower deck. You know, we're clearly going to be trying to play a bit of a grindier game with them. We're not in a huge rush. So we're going to try and pace our spells here. Cast the Yearling. This is a free spell now. Now we're +1 cards here. So we just got a card for free. We didn't just get a card in our hand, which is great. We will make our thing into a 3-power creature and fire in our Yearling. Attack. The one there is because of the finality counter. If this would die, it now gets exiled. It can't come back indefinitely. End step, they'll play a Valley Flood Caller as an otter.
He's a sweet little otter.
And they play a Mentor, another otter. So those are both reasonable cards, but we got a Chomp. We have kill spells in our hand, which is great. We draw a Rampaging Raptor. That is a great draw. So first things first, let's just Chomp. Let's Chomp in the Flood Caller and see what happens. These spells cost less. This can pump their stuff. Get an idea, kind of push the issue and get an idea what's going on here. So cast this thing. This will do at least 3. If they had 2 spells to cast in response, I guess it would survive. They're gonna Pearls of Wisdom. Maybe they do have 2 spells in response. Choose. All right. Could have cast the Raptor first, but like it runs afoul of a counter spell, so. All right. They're gonna Meeting of the Minds. Wow. So this is really, really cool. So they're gonna Convoke, and then they have to untap their creatures. They are kind of doing their thing here. So we got a little punished. We're still going to Raptor, I guess. Now we're in big trouble, honestly. So play the Raptor. That grows these to 4. Obviously, if I played this first, it would have died. But, like, we couldn't have known that. They could have countered it. Like, I don't know. So we're just like, go here. Their things shrink back down. We're building a decent board. But, like, that was not good. They drew a lot of cards that turn. They drew 4 extra cards. Not ideal. Seven cards in hand. They're going to Meeting of the Minds again. So Convoke plus the Flood Crawler is a pretty cool deck building interaction. Play a Stormpiercer's Talent. Make an Otter.
Cannot tolerate the otters.
Sure, I guess. Play a land. And they're going to play Torch the Tower on a Yearling. That pumps things up again. Alright. Torch Tower, yeah. I mean, they've obviously drawn 1,000 cards, so it makes sense. They have a bunch of things to do. And then they're going to Stoke Flames. Alright, we're just dead. Alright. Yeah, that was something. We go down to 2. We draw a Raptor. And that will basically do it. I guess I mean, if they somehow have nothing, they should buy a spell back too, so whatever. We'll just channel this, play this guy, and say go. We're dead to... We're just dead to the board, right? They should get back a spell. So yeah, they're fine. All right, that's fine. All right, they got us. All right, GG for game 1. Pretty good draw on their part. They kind of got their thing going for sure. We have to look at our sideboard here, and we see what? We don't have a lot against... like their spells really as a red-green deck, obviously. Bringing a few Braids, killing their creatures is very important. And then maybe cut down on what? The Hatchers, all the big stuff. The big thing is that they're a red deck, so they can't kill larger creatures most likely. Jumps, Raptors. Yeah. Let's cut this firstborn, guys. Just like likely to die against if they kill a thing in response or whatever, so this is fine. Alright, so best of 3, obviously, it's first to 2 match wins. So we ain't dead yet. And we got a pretty good hand here. I mean, they kill our Lore Keeper, we're in trouble. We have an uncounterable Hammer Skull on turn 2, which is pretty nice. No actual red mana yet for our Chomp, but otherwise our hand's pretty great. So, play a Varst, play our Lore Keeper. They mulligan to 6. They play an island, say go. Awesome. So you get to go Cavern of Souls, name Dinosaur, play Hammer Skull, and rock and roll. Love to draw a land next turn. If I can go double Dinosaur, attack with a 6/6. They're going to go Otter Ball Elite. So 1/3. Oh, yeah, we're doing it. All right, so here's a Copperline Gorge. I think we're going to play the Yearling and just kill the Otter Ball. One of the important things against these prowess decks is just keeping them off the board. And they can't mess with us right now. So just do it. Just get it, do that. Get it for 7. And then next turn we draw a land. We have Hatcher, not another Yearling. So we're laying the beats right now. Alright, so they mulliganed. Maybe didn't have any red, but it's fine. Let's go on to our next game. Alright, so on the draw for game 3, this is the deciding match. And our hand is pretty good. Opponent mulligans, we can keep this. Having Cavern Souls is nice too. It's a good insurance poly. It's against their counter spells. We have a turn 1 creature. We can go Yearling Tap Land, which is kind of cool too. Play an Uncounterable Raptor on turn 3. They play a Spire Bluff Canal, so hopefully no shock here. Keep our Lore Keeper alive. It's still alive. Drew a removal spell too, actually, which is cool. So they play a Thunder Trap Trainer. This is an otter that goes, looks top 4 cards, get a spell. They find a Meeting of the Minds. We draw a Forest. So yeah, we'll just do what we said. Play Yearling into Tapland. And we can Raptor next turn, or we could like Chomp and do something else. Raptor into Carnosaur, both uncounterable, is pretty powerful. We'll see what they do. They play a Otterball Elite. That's okay. We draw Chomp. I think we're just doing our thing this turn. Name Dinosaur, cast Raptor, attack for 5. Just gonna try and brute force it here. So I have a 5/2 trample and get in. And then next turn we have land, double green. We can go Carnosaur and Chomp, which is awesome. So, and they can't counter, which is important too. They just say go. So this might be the Otter Lure that pumps everything we saw last time, or it might be just Meeting the Minds, whatever. But let's find out. So let's make sure we tap right here. We're gonna leave our regular red mana open for the Chomp and fire up our old Carnosaur. So Big Daddy, uncounterable, ETB, discover 5, and it grows our Yearling. Discover 5, and what do we see? We see a, hopefully a Hatcher. That would be the stones.
Oh, it's Rising Helix! Oh my god!
So the Hatcher gives the Carnosaur haste. It makes the egg tokens. Be careful with these eggs, because they are dinosaurs, so you can make it into a 0 power creature, and then a 0 power creature, and then a 5 power creature, and then a 7 power creature. Watch your stacks. You can highlight the ability. It'll show you which one it's doing. And now these all have haste too. I think we're just going to try and Chomp and target the Otter Ball and force the action here. They're going to tap it to loot. This is our turn 4 on the play, so I'm going to, yeah, on the draw. Actually, they missed a land drop, so they went first this game. All right, discard Meeting the Minds. Gets chomped. Move to combat. The Hatcher will allow our egg to get sacrificed into a 3/3. Again, be careful with your Yearling, because it will, if I take action here, it'll go back to 3 power. Don't want that. And then, yeah, let's just send in the clowns. Not a bad attack. Here's the Flood Caller. This is 14. This is so much damage, yeah. Do they have any Convokes now? They should have Jump Block. It's got Trample anyway. All right, there you go. That was a pretty good draw, obviously, but deck definitely has a shot on the real ladder, if you will. Again, I don't think you're going to be crushing, but the deck is more than playable, and for 25 bucks, whatever, a few upgrades, not too shabby at all. All right, awesome. So give the deck a try. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you upgraded or changed any different things. Again, my name is Jam. I'm a pro Magic player, full-time content creator. I do content full-time here on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll be playing in the World Championship in a few months, which is super awesome as well. Hope to see you around. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.